Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As we begin, may I first request our dignitaries to please come over to the dais. Secretary of DBT, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale. Director of CMC, Dr. Bikram Matthews. The Director of InSTEM, Dr. Manisha Hamdur. Our Principal, Dr. Solomon Satish Kumar. Medical Superintendent, Dr. I. Rajesh. Vice Principal Research, Dr. Jacob John. Head of CSCR, Dr. Nihal Thomas. Chaplain, Reverend Dr. Finney Alexander. And Dr. Srujan Kumar Marapalli. It is indeed a moment of pride and joy to welcome you all to the inaugural session of the prestigious 10th Annual Cell and Gene Therapy Symposium. And on behalf of the organizing committee, I extend a warm welcome to the distinguished dignitaries, esteemed guests, respected faculty members, and participants from across the country. In fact, the director will be formally welcoming you all. We are also deeply honored to have our Honorable Minister of State for Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh, joining us online today. He has graciously consented to inaugurate this decennial symposium online. And to begin this meaningful occasion on a note of gratitude and reverence, may I now request the choir to sing a song of invocation, following which our chaplain, Reverend Dr. Finney, will be offering the opening prayer.
And sustainer of our lives, we thank thee, we adore you. Thank you for the gift of this day. From the rising of the sun to the place where it sets, May your name be praised. O Lord, you have engraved us in your hands, and our frame is ever before you. Sovereign Lord, in you we live, we move, and have our being. As we participate in the 10th Symposium on Cell and Gene Therapy, may you open our understanding to see the marvelous things in science. Grant us a spirit of inquiry and compassion to bring solutions to many sicknesses and diseases. Bless all those who are participating in this symposium. We pray for your blessing upon the Honorable Minister, Dr. Jitendra Singh, and all the responsibilities our minister shoulders in the government of India. May you bless our nation, India, and our people. Grant us your welfare and healing, and bless this ceremony. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, choir, for that meaningful song of invocation, and Reverend Finney for the prayer of blessing. Now I invite our director, Dr. Vikram Matthews, to deliver the welcome address and formally set the tone for this symposium.
Shri Dr. Jitendra Singh, our Union Minister of State, online. Dr. Rajesh Kokil, Secretary DBT. Dr. Manisha Anandar, the Director of INSTEM. Distinguished guests on and off the dais. It's really a pleasure to felicitate the organizers of the CSIR Cell Gene Therapy Conference. This meeting stands at the heart of a scientific movement that is reshaping medicine globally and here in India. Cell and gene therapies are shifting and changing conversations from managing disease to, in many cases, potentially curing them or completely changing their natural course. From hemoglobinopathies to pediatric immunodeficiencies to cancers to degenerative disorders. And as the Secretary had mentioned, the interface of all this, we are really truly at an inflection point in this country and the world in how we deal with medical illnesses and how we personalize care, and far, far more important, how we make all of this equitably accessible for all. Over the next 10 years, the scientific and economic stakes are immense. Scientifically, we will see major improvements in every aspect of cell and gene therapy, data-driven trials, and bring therapies to patients faster and more affordably. Financially, this field will anchor high-value biomanufacturing, as has already been pointed out, and service ecosystems, and I'm fairly certain that India will be very much at the center of all this progress. The opportunity is not merely in revenue, as often sometimes that's the only metric that's applied, but also in terms of high-skilled jobs, export potential, and more importantly, long, healthy lives that improve the quality of every single citizen in this country. My heartfelt thanks to the organizers and the entire CSIR team for curating such an excellent program, rich in science, practical in outlook, and collaborative in spirit. We are also profoundly grateful to the Government of India, through the Department of Biotechnology and INSTEM, for their continued and catalytic support. We are also extremely grateful for the long-term vision that the DBT has had in these programs and have supported us over such a long period of time. To our industry partners, many of whom who are here in the audience, truly science and progress is only possible with your partnership and continued engagement. As William Gibson said, the future is already here. It's just not evenly distributed. And that is our challenge. It's a collective calling to us to work on how do we make all that we know and deliver equitable, affordable, and at scale. There's a lot of technological terminologies that are going to be thrown in jargon around, and I encourage everybody to take note of a fairly diverse audience over here. So GMP could mean a lot of different things, from including get more pipettes to other things. So one has to be cautious when talks to a very diverse audience, and my encouragement to all the speakers is to keep tab of the fact that there is a very diverse audience over here. May we never forget that rigor is in our kindness and the way we collaborate and interact with each other, and that is the only way that we can actually move forward. I wish each one of you a very productive meeting, energizing science, meaningful network and collaborations that outlive this conference and translate to lives transformed. Congratulations once again, and God bless all our work.
To symbolize the light of knowledge and the spirit of scientific inquiry, we shall now proceed with the lighting of the lamp. May I now request the dignitaries on the dais to kindly do the honors of lighting the lamp, the Kuttu Vilak. May I now request our medical superintendent and our vice principal research to do the honors in welcoming our distinguished guests, Dr. Gokhale and Dr. Manisha, with the traditional bouquet and shawl. Friends, we are truly honored by the presence of Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, Secretary of the Department of Biotechnology of the Ministry of Science and Technology, in our midst this afternoon. And may I now request him to offer his felicitation.
Namaskar and good afternoon to all of you. Honorable Union Minister of State, Independent Charge, Ministry of Science and Technology, Dr. Jitendra Singh ji, who's joined online there. Dr. Vikram Matthews, Director, CMC. Professor Manisha Inamdar, Director in STEM, BRIC in STEM. Dr. Solomon Satish Kumar, Principal CMC. Dr. Rajesh, Medical Superintendent here. Various other dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. Ladies and gentlemen, It gives me an immense pleasure to connect with you all today on this wonderful occasion on the 10th celebration of annual Cell and Gene Therapy Symposium. As I said briefly in my talk earlier as well, actually, this has been a series that has been transformative. In 10 years, it has grown like an amazing way in which the whole community has grown together. And I think this decade of groundbreaking advancement, collaborations, and relentless pursuit of innovation in this rapidly evolving field is quite remarkable to see. I really congratulate BRIC in STEM and CMC Vellore for their remarkable efforts. I think Department of Biotechnology is only an enabler. It's all of these stuffs that both these organizations that do it, actually, government only puts in its, what I always call, it's behind, it backs people. And eventually it's the people who really create everything, and these two institutions have done amazing things over a period of time. I think we should have a good round of applause for. I think this collaboration marks a significant milestones in India's journeys towards advanced biotherapeutics, where the best of fundamental research, the clinical experience, and the biomanufacturing will come together to translate science into solutions for patients. And I'm almost sure that in the next 2 to 3 years, there will be amazing technologies that will come out of it, actually. I think this has been one of the most, over the past 10 years, cell and gene therapy have transformed from promising concept to powerful therapeutic realities. As all of you would agree, this is the most transformative frontier of modern medicine, actually. It has potential not only to the correct gene defects, but to do regenerative damaged tissues, as we heard about from the pancreatic cells story, actually, and also re-educate immune system to fight various complex diseases as CAR T cells and other, actually. And I think the peripheral immune system, the Nobel Prize, I'm sure is going to accelerate even more so the peripheral tolerance mechanisms that we are actually going to look at for various autoimmune diseases as well. I think what was once an imagination only, and I always kind of, as a younger child, you would imagine you'll see somebody suffering. You always think that, why can't we cure it, actually, right? I mean, when your older parents or older grandparents are old, as a younger child, your memories are always kind of, why are they suffering? Why these suffering can't we go away with, actually? And I think the new clinical hopes that we are trying to come up with is for various disorders like thalassemia, sickle cell diseases, cancers, and hemophilia are going to be revolutionizing the entire ecosystem. As I said just now earlier in my talk, government is coming up with policies and funding mechanisms, and also coming up with ideas of how to scale up these activities, actually. Through BioE3, which is Biotechnology for Environment, Economy and Employment Policy, Department of Biotechnology is actively promoting futuristic precision medicine as one of the key revolutionary healthcare enabler that will create personalized, predictive and targeted treatment approaches for all the people of the country, actually, and making it equitable, affordable and accessible. I must sincerely thank our Honorable Minister for this, really helping us out in all of these endeavors over the last 3-4 years that I have been in the department, actually. I think his guidance, support, and leadership is absolutely amazing. It's of the, I think the amount of backing he does to you is actually quite transformative. And he has consistently inspired us to strive for the excellence in every area we go, actually. In fact, all these policies and all these that cabinet approved were, in fact, after his guidance and all his, he in fact suggested several ideas that were actually very, very critical and important for it. I must add that being a clinician, he himself has empathy as one of his major aspect of human life. I mean, all clinicians have empathy because they keep looking at patients, and that's how they kind of look at suffering parts of human life. And I must say that, sir, your leadership has been transformative for Department of Biotechnology over the years, and it's amazing how much fast we are growing over the years. And I think the future strives amazing opportunities it leaves for us, actually. As I said, India is witnessing pioneering efforts in development of indigenous CAR T cell therapies and gene therapies, actually, and BIRAC, by funding startups and companies, have in fact created tremendous amount of energy into the system. And DBT, through various ways, are committed to building a better tomorrow for providing futuristic endeavors. I will just list out the few futuristic goals that we are trying to pick up, actually, which are, as I said, 6 thematic areas I've identified. And in fact, we recently, Honorable Minister, inaugurated about 21 biomanufacturing facilities which are going to be set up in the next 2 years all across the country. And many of these are going to function in a network model where the scale-up capacity, which is one of the major challenges in biological systems, is going to be enabled for all the startups, all the researchers to be able to take forward these activities. Over the years, department has done several other important initiatives. For example, the macrolide antibiotic nifetromycin in collaboration with one of the companies, again, actually was very, very novel and amazing for our country's progress to look at. Indigenous cervical cancer vaccine, which was developed again in partnership with Serum Research Institute and other places, as well as various diagnostic kits and cancer screening methods that are coming up with a very fast pace. Similarly, BIRAC supported voxel grid for MRI scanners to be developed in our country. And you can imagine this is just the tip of the iceberg, actually. There are so many amazing things likely to happen in the next 5 to 10 years that its high impact is going to be quite transformative of our country's future. I think in the same way, what we have done is we've kind of formed a conglomeration of our institutions of all the Department of Biotechnology, and we've kind of named it Biotechnology Research Innovation Council. And this conglomeration of 13 autonomous institutions intends to integrate the multidisciplinary research, training, and innovation programs and leverage existing strengths to build systematic collaborations, identify convergent directions, and set a clear path for translation. I really urge all the researchers, clinicians, and industry leaders who are all here to foster the collaborations and open dialogue, actually, because that's the only model that will actually make us successful in this. It's through shared knowledge and concerted efforts that we will accelerate the pace of discovery and make transformative therapies a reality for patients in India as well as across the globe. I again thank each one of you for your participation, and we just hope that this journey that our country is taking up for next 20 to 25 years to come for Viksit Bharat becomes a reality for all. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. That was truly very insightful. And I believe because of the constraint of time, he was only able to reveal to us just the tip of the iceberg. There's much more coming in the coming years. May I now call upon Dr. Nihal Thomas, the head of CSER, to come and give us an overview of the symposium.
Thank you very much. Honorable Union Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, thank you so much for attending this meeting despite your extremely busy schedule. It may be thought that the life of a scientist has many dimensions and challenges and takes an unpredictable, meandering course, but it is indeed one of great nobility, the greatest impetus and intention. This Cell and Gene Symposium, which is currently being conducted for the 10th successive year, stands to support the realization of the future of this field. It is the future of medicine, as Dr. Rajesh Gokhale has very clearly said. With regards to the basic scientists and in relation to the medical science, it is a vocation that is befitting of the greatest virtue to ensure that the unsorted problems of the human body are given the attention that is required to heal, to provide solace, and to change the lives of many through unique and distinctive solutions. We have been privileged over a duration of 20 years to see that coupled with the spectacular evolution of technology of sequencing, stem cell therapy, and artificial intelligence. There has been a paradigm shift in thinking and approach towards many hereditary disorders, cancers, and non-communicable disease. In India, we are at the pinnacle of greatness in terms of realizing all this with the help of the Department of Biotechnology, with the help of the support of the central government, and the visionary leadership of all those concerned. I'm certain that these will be realized. All those of you who have come today have really contributed massively we have this fantastic plethora of speakers amongst you who are contributing towards knowledge. The youngsters who are listening are indeed inspired in the last 4 hours, and in the next 12 hours, I'm certain they will be inspired even more. Let us lay aside the stereotypes of current thinking and develop an engaging stratagem to outline our own unique role in this field of specialization. We must evolve a sui generis that outlines our individuality. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vellore. And in the time that you spend here, be sure to explore the dimensions of our institution and spend time in cross-fertilizing your ideas to ensure that the coming year is one with immense academic promise. Once again, thank you so much, Mantriji, for attending this occasion despite your extremely busy schedule. Let's give him a standing ovation. Please stand. Thank you, sir. Also, thank you so much, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale. Despite your busy schedule in governing 23 institutions across the country, you have spent time with us, given us valuable advice. Thank you so much again. Dr. Manisha, for your enduring and charming presence. Thank you so much for your leadership. Once again, I would like to thank this audience for integrating with us. Have a wonderful day ahead and a wonderful evening. Thank you.
May I now request our principal, Dr. Solomon Satish Kumar, to formally introduce our Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Jitendra Singh Ji, before he brings us his inaugural address.
It is my privilege and honor to welcome and introduce our esteemed Chief Guest, Honorable Minister Dr. Jitendra Singh, Honorable Union Minister of State, Independent Charge, Ministry of Science and Technology. He is also the Minister of State, Independent Charge in the Ministry of Earth Sciences, Minister of State in the Prime Minister's Office, Minister of State in the Ministry of Personal, Public Grievances and Pensions, Minister of State in the Department of Atomic Energy, and Minister of State in the Department of Space. As you can see, he holds multiple responsibilities for our country. The Honorable Minister joined the Stanley Medical College, Chennai, for his undergraduate medical studies and then completed his MD in General Medicine and a fellowship in diabetes from AIIMS, New Delhi. For his excellent work, he has been bestowed with 2 honorary doctorates from the Central University, Jammu, and the Amity University. His interest and work in diabetes has led him to serve on several national committees and societies. He was the chairman of the National Scientific Committee on Diabetes, the founder executive board member of Diabetes India, and is a life patron of the Research Society for the Study of Diabetes in India. The Honorable Minister has been a former member of the advisory board of the Journal of Association of Physicians of India and a member of the editorial board of the Journal of the Indian Medical Association. He has been a reviewer for the International Journal of Diabetes in developing countries. He has conducted pioneering research on stress diabetes in Kashmiri migrants, in addition to authoring a large number of scholarship publications, guidelines for the management of diabetes in pregnancy, chapters in medical textbooks, as well as 5 popular books on diabetes awareness. For his outstanding contribution to the field of diabetes, the Honorable Minister was presented with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the International Diabetes Update 2024 held in Chennai. In addition to his academic achievements, he has been a journalist and a noted columnist with over 10,000 published articles in newspapers and journals. For these achievements, the Honorable Minister was awarded the coveted Jamna Devi Gyan Devi Award for Journalism. He has been a dedicated to social and public service from a very young age. He is a Lok Sabha MP and has represented Udhampur for 3 consecutive terms. Throughout his tenure as Member of Parliament, the Honourable Minister has held several important portfolios and has made valuable contributions to our country through his dynamic leadership. Respected Sir, we are indeed honoured to have you join us for the inauguration of the 10th Annual Cell and Gene Therapy Symposium. Despite your busy schedule, we sincerely thank you for joining us online for this inauguration. On behalf of the Christian Medical College Vellore and all of us present here, I invite our Director, Dr. Vikram Matthews, to virtually present you with a memento and a shawl as a token of our love and appreciation. We warmly welcome you, sir. Thank you very much for your presence with us. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Secretary, Department of Biotechnology, Ministry of Science and Technology, Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, Director, Christian Medical College, Vellore, Dr. Matthews, Dr. Solomon, Dr. Nihal Thomas. At the outset, I have to express my sincere apologies, though I wished and I was very keen to be there physically amongst you all. But the last moment, some unavoidable engagement held me back. And I had to go to a different part of the country from where it was not easily accessible to reach Vellore on time. And therefore, I think the best option available was to connect by whatever means available. But I'm sure I'll be able to make up for this and be there sooner than later. And I also must, in particular, personally apologize to Dr. Nihal because he's been very keenly following me up for the last several weeks to be over there. And I think the loss is mine, Nihal. I've missed an opportunity to meet you physically. But sure, I would be there very soon. Now, this is a strange coincidence that I have a very close association with both the components associated with this program, namely the Christian Medical College Vellore, as also the Department of Biotechnology. Now, as far as the Christian Medical College is concerned, I think CMC Vellore was a part of the Madras University when I happened to be an undergraduate. So we shared the common award accreditation of the degrees. And since in those days we had a very few number of medical colleges, the private colleges were hardly known. I think there were just 8 or 9 medical colleges in all, in the entire state of then Madras, which then turned into Tamil Nadu. And therefore there was a lot of kinship and close collaboration among the various institutions. And CMC, as all of us know, has inherited a rich legacy and has always been a benchmark for many other medical institutions of the country. Similarly, the Department of Biotechnology, though I am into this ministerial responsibility only for the last few years, but the fact is that as a part of my research projects, I had been associated with this department almost not less than 2.5 decades or so. So in a way, it is getting back to your roots, being a part of this program. Now, as of today, and I'm sure all of you would bear me out, the Department of Biotechnology in the Government of India represents the change of approach on the part of the political dispensation of India today, which is led by Prime Minister Modi. And it's also a departure from the kind of, shall I say, inertia of the past. because this government has been very forthcoming as far as research innovation is concerned, also very forthcoming in following the global strategies, the global parameters. That's why now we are hugely also involved with the private sector, both in manufacturing as well as in research innovation. And that has changed the entire landscape and also the perception of India across the world, because as you all know, earlier on we waited others to perform success stories, success experiments, and then tended to emulate. And always, invariably, it was a decade later happening. In whatever domain of science you spoke about, even if it was electronics, the television happened in US in 1950s. We got to see the first black and white in 70s. I know in the state of Tamil Nadu, the first telecast of the television happened during a cricket match happening at Chepauk somewhere around 1975 or so. So that was the kind of time lapse happening, but it's no longer so. We are among the first to be in the quantum technology, and we are also among the first in the world to have rolled out a very futuristic biotechnology policy called BioE3, the biotechnology for environment, economy, and employment. So we are now not only in the same platform as a frontline nation, but in many ways we are also offering cues for others to follow. And that's happened because of an enabling milieu which has been provided by the policy makers of the country and the current political dispensation. And therefore one can reasonably say that we are no longer followers, but in many ways we also beckon others to follow, whether it is space technology. And I think biotechnology, for that matter, has distinguished itself along with the space sector as one of the torchbearers of this frontline journey of India in the domain of science, technology, and innovation. And it has also given India an esteem overall outside the domain of science as well. The vaccine story from the Department of Biotechnology is being cited across the globe. And even today, the same department has come out successfully with a number of vaccines, of course, with the participation of the private sector, the private companies, which are being supplied to as many as 200 countries of the world. So which means we are not only self-sufficiently producing for ourselves, but we are also offering this to the rest of the world. Whether it's the first ever DNA vaccine for COVID, whether it's the HPV vaccine. And this department is also now credited for having come out with the first ever antibiotic indigenously developed salt called the nephromycin, which was not so earlier, right from the days of penicillin down to the successive generations of penicillin. And in the same vein, I think, can be counted the name of the Center for Stem Cell Research, CSCR, headed by Dr. Nihal Thomas in CMC Vellore, which was founded again as a unit of INSTEM Bengaluru, which also happens to be affiliated to the Department of Biotechnology, and has been mandated and is performing appreciably well by focusing on key areas of hematology, of regenerative medicine, oncology, immunology, ocular stem cells, etc., and has, to its credit, some of the landmark translational impact stories, including the India's first in-human gene trial on hemophilia, which was, of course, published, also found a publication in the New England Journal of Medicine, which I am sure all of us who are a part of the medical fraternity understand what it means to get a publication in New England Journal of Medicine, which along with the British Medical Journal happens to be among the oldest medicine journals in the world. And that itself is a validation of the work done. And therefore, I'm also glad to learn that now the CSCR team is preparing for the next phase of the clinical development, and several technologies of hemoglobinopathy is being transferred to commercial partners. So that is something which is also very close to this government, involving the private sector, involving it at a big scale, a larger scale, and involving it right from the beginning to make the project viable and also make it reach those for whom it is meant. And to that extent, I think, while I assure full support to the project on behalf of the Department of Biotechnology, I must also say that we are very forthcoming as far as the private participation is concerned. The BioRake is an interface which is being cited as a role model, which acts as an interface between the Department of Biotechnology and the private partners, decides the nature of collaboration, the scale of collaboration, the entities of collaboration. And thereafter, of course, it's a part of a larger ecosystem where we very recently, of course, as I mentioned, came out with a dedicated biotechnology policy, the BioE3. Then we have come out, we are among the very few countries in the world who have also put in place a National Research Foundation, where as much as about 70% of the funding and the resource is from the non-government entities. And very recently, the 1 lakh crore R&D fund to incentivize the private sector. So to that extent, the kind of work which is being done in CMC Vellore is actually aligned to the priorities and the agendas of the department with which this project is associated with, namely the Department of Biotechnology. At the same time, I must also compliment, because I believe I am to also be part of the formal inauguration of the new block of the Mental Health Care Center in the Department of Psychiatry. I wish I could be there, but nevertheless, even if it is done virtually, I have to compliment you, because the Mental Health Care Center in CMC Vellore, I can say out of my experience as a student of medicine, is one of the earliest. I think it was instituted somewhere in 1950s, when there were very few psychiatry departments in the country. And in fact, the irony was that very few students chose to take up psychiatry as a medium of study. And I have also seen those days, we used to have a diploma in psychiatry, then of course later on the MD psychiatry started. We would not get a student taking up these courses. They would wait for the next year, because they said if we go in for a degree, we will be known as a madman's doctor. So the entire landscape has changed. So it was a very futuristic approach on the part of CMC to be among the first. And I believe the new center, the new block, which is set to be inaugurated today, will also be providing low-cost private ward facility, which of course, as all of us know, the psychiatry patients are sometimes hospitalized for an uncertain span of time, depending on their condition and also various other factors. So I'm sure this is going to be a great service, not only to the patient, but also as attendants and the society at large. And therefore, I think over the last few years, the Department of Biotechnology and the science and technology in India is rather going through one of the better times. We've virtually undergone a resurgence. And whether it's any stream, so I'm not going to get into the detail of that because the list would be very long. But as far as bioeconomy per se is concerned, in 2014, we were just about 10 billion US dollar. Today, we are close to 200 billion, almost 170 billion. And by 2030, we hope to be 300 billion. So which means that not only there's a progressive increase, but the pace of increase has also increased. Our biomanufacturing ranking is third in Asia Pacific and 12th in the world. Some of our cost-effective gadgets, instruments, including ones from some of the institutes from India, are now of the export quality. Our pharma exports today stand at about 27.8 billion US dollars and hope to be 30 billion dollar by the turn of this year. And of course, our bio startups were just 50 of them registered, which is rather embarrassing in 2014. Now we are over 11,000, and some of them are the world potential. And our medical tech sector also is showing an annual growth of 15 to 20%. Which is indicated from the fact that even though we are just about 12 billion US dollar today, we hope to, the projection indicates that we may be by 50 US dollars by the year 2030. And as all of you know, the Global Innovation Index only last week touched rank 38, which was just 81 before this government came. Our patent filing has increased, and what is more important is that more than 55% of the patents are Indian residents. So on the one hand, the government is trying to give as much of support possible from the government side, like for example, the DBT budget or the Department of Biotechnology budget, which was just about 1,500 crore 10 years back, is now more than 6,000, almost 7,000 crore. But at the same time, the supplementation comes hugely from the private sector. Our GERD has doubled from about 60,000 crore to 1,27,000 crore. And therefore, I can say with confidence that CMC, Vellore and other such institutions become a part of this larger and a wholesome ecosystem, representing whole of science, whole of government, and of course, whole of society. And therefore, bio sector of India is hugely contributing also to the flagship priorities of Prime Minister Modi by making India self-reliant, or as they popularly say, Atmanirbhar Bharat, also making indigenous innovations, manufacturing, which means make in India, and also doing within India or by Indians what is relevant for the rest of the world as well. It will be fascinating to share that even the very recent the International Space Station expedition, where one of our astronauts, Shubhanshu Shukla, had to be a part of the crew, was provided kits to perform experiments which are again provided by the same department. They also dealt hugely with the medical science. There was one set of kits dealing with the life sciences, the biogenesis, etc. The other set dealing with the cognitive impact of constant use of electronic gadgets. And the results of these experiments which are being worked out will be available to the rest of the world as well, which means the Vishwa Bandhu Bharat, which is another popular mantra of this government, is also. So you can understand this ecosystem is living up to 3-4 priority programs or priority ideals of the dispensation today. And to that extent, all of us as a part of this ecosystem are contributing to the making of a healthy Viksit Bharat. When we talk of India 2047, I think there's no disagreement of the fact that unless we are able to ensure the health of the citizens of 2047, we would not be able to achieve the rest of the goals. So, and that is precisely what is being sought to be obtained or achieved through affordable, self-developed, accessible healthcare, which is also at the same time quality healthcare. And I'm sure together and CMC Vellore being a part of this larger ecosystem, with the Department of Biotechnology being the nodal department, would be able to live up to this award goal and objective. Thank you very much. Thank you once again. And I apologize not being there physically. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can we all stand for a standing ovation? May I now request Dr. Srujan to please come forward to say the vote of thanks.
On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our deepest gratitude to all the dignitaries in the stage, esteemed speakers, and the participants. We are deeply honored by the presence of Honorable Minister for Science and Technology, Shri Dr. Jitendra Singh Ji, at the opening ceremony of our scientific symposium. Sir, your presence means a lot to us. This reflects government's commitment towards advancing scientific research in our nation. We are privileged to have Dr. Rajesh Gokhale, Department of Biotechnology. Sir, your presence emphasizes the department's continuous support to our center. CSER is a special kit. We have two directors. We thank BRIC Institute Director, Professor Manisha Inamdar, and CMC Director, Dr. Vikram Matthews, for their continuous support, mentoring to this event. We thank CMC Administration, Principal Dr. Solomon Satish Kumar, Vice Principal Dr. Jacob John, and Medical Superintendent Dr. Rajesh for their support in organizing this event. A very special mention of our center head, Dr. Nihal Thomas, for his visionary leadership, dedication, made our scientific symposium in a bigger manner. This is our 10th annual symposium. We've been conducting this from 2016 with a track record of one of the pioneers in the cell and gene therapy symposium. That includes, the participation includes Luigi Naldini to Michael E. De Luca and Marina Cavazzana and many other, those who conducted many first-in-human clinical trials all over the globe. So this is our 10th annual symposium, so we want to make it in a bigger manner. And all these efforts and planning is through our center head, Dr. Nihal Thomas. And without contribution of our distinguished speakers, enthusiastic participants, organizing this event would not be possible. We deeply thank our speakers who traveled across the globe and national speakers. Are gracious, and they graciously accepted our invitations and took the pain to travel here. Thank you very much. And the participants, we really thank your enthusiasm. Hope you enjoy this vibrant and insightful discussions and be part of the development of cell and gene therapy field in India. So we are looking forward in next few days, 2 days, to have a wonderful discussions ahead. Once again, I welcome you all. Thank you.
Just before we close, may I please request Dr. Manisha to please release the souvenir. I request you all to hold the souvenir for a photograph, please. Thank you. We will now have the college song followed by the national anthem, and I request you to please be standing for both of it.
Round by its strong, ageless mountains stands the college we'll honor evermore. We, thy children, shall strive to reflect thee. On thy glowing gem of Vellore, as your banner we wave proudly o'er us, and together we chorus your praise. In your blue we see loyalty's emblem, their truth in your silver's bright rays. Reach us for the silver and blue, India star in the sky, pure and true. Clouds of suffering will vanish forever. Reach us for the silver and blue. Not for fame, not for wealth or endeavor, pride of race nor of creed be our boast. Each for all for each, us forever. United from coast to coast, strong to serve, strong to save, the defenseless. May the Spirit inspire us anew, not to gain but to give me a motto. Reach us for the silver and blue. Reach us for the silver and blue. Indian star in the sky, clear and true. Clouds of